Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to day it's September 30th, I think, about this time. Day something. Welcome back to the Dell Chronicles. I'm Martin, your host. Can you believe what's happening? I mean, it's amazing. I'm about to give you a recording up next where after the last guy hung up on me, I'm like, I'm calling back. And this guy, yeah, I'm in a bad mood. I'm a bit snarky with this guy. And he is snarky back. Not only is he snarky back, but well, I mean, you'll see what he does. And again, I respect everybody in customer service and tech support. I appreciate what they do, but nobody is helping. Nobody is helping to get a problem resolved. And after all the time and hours and money spent, we could have resolved this, as you'll see at the very end. Let's kind of figure out where we've been. There and back again. It's been all over the place. It really has. So, again, we started September 8th with issues with the laptop, throttling all the way down, and the CPU bottoming out and having big issues just trying to play 7 Days to Die. We replaced out the heatsink and fans with a really crappy heatsink that the guy did not use, thank goodness. Massive gobs, too, of heatsink, or of thermal paste, by the way, which... it was really bad, but he says Dell requires them. Changed out the entire motherboard. We went back and forth. Somebody got me to download HW info at some point. We're progressing towards the end of this. The next person runs a battery report for the first time. First time they run a battery report. And this is also the first time that somebody apparently has shown this tech support person the article from Dell talking about battery issues on the laptop. And as you can see, we are just going back and forth. I am calling, I am emailing, I am trying to get somebody to resolve this case. Somebody at some point needs to resolve this case, and you can see the numerous amount of calls. So we're on September 29th. And and it is a complete disaster. It truly is. It is a horrendous disaster. Issues abound. This time we got the snarky. We got the guy that gets a little bit snarky. Before we get into that though, let me show you the article from Dell. As you can see, here is the article. It says Alienware 15R3 performance issue or battery drain while AC adapter is connected. The keyword is connected. And again, it's this is an article from, I forget what it is, it's from their knowledge base. So, but I mean, it goes all the way up to, it's the M17, the R4, you name it. It shows affected systems. I have the Alienware M15. The following article deals with a reported performance issue or battery drain while the AC adapter is connected and on several Alienware systems. Symptoms: when the AC adapter is connected and the system is under a heavy loading environment, the Alienware laptop system may show 5% of battery discharge per hour. When the battery capacity is low, then the system will system throttling can be encountered. And this is when it just bottoms out. This is basically when it bottoms out. So it's not the thermal throttling, it's not the limit throttling. This is the flat out boom. Once you have gotten to low, which by the way, I have figured out is below 20%, it will bottom out your CPU. So all of that advertised, turbo boost is null and void, and it's all gone. And by the way, you can't even change any of your, because they've locked down the Intel CPU on this thing, you can't change anything on it to try to assist with the power issues. So it is what it is. Now, under heavy loading. All right. So heavy loading. This is, for an example, playing PUBG plus external devices are plugged in. For example, gaming mouse, gaming keyboard, and a headset. When the system is under, and that's heavy loading, okay? So that's what it would be considered. This is, so 5% under heavy loading, which by the way, I did. And by the way, it did not make much of a difference at all, about 1 or 2% difference. When the system is under extreme heavy loading, you will have a discharge of greater than 5% per hour. How much more than 5%? Who the heck knows? Here's an example of extreme heavy loading. This is where heavy loading games, for instance, PUBG, plus external devices are plugged, gaming mouse, gaming keyboard, headset, external monitor, plus 2 extra USB devices, such as phones and iPads. So I have been in both situations. I have done it under extreme heavy loading, and I have done it under heavy loading, and I've done it bare bones. And this laptop will drain anywhere from 18% to almost 30% per hour. What can I say? So my average is about 25% per hour, aroundabouts, give or take. So it can definitely work like crazy. How do I know when the hybrid power feature? So again, that's the hybrid, is to protect it. So this was published November 20th of 2020, or last published date. This is published before then because obviously I brought it up. Well, and before, maybe I have access to the future. So this is the article that I have referenced thus far and will continue to reference. And this is the next call after the last guy hung up on me.
Thanks. Hold on while I look that up. Got it. Thanks. Hold on while I transfer you.
Apparently they're not answering their phone. Hello. Oh, I can barely hear you. Can you speak up, please? I cannot hear a thing you are saying. I mean, no, it's just super hazy. Like there's a lot of, it's like you're talking from it's like you're talking through a wall, kind of. Now, Grant, cut them some slack. They're all working from home. I mean, it's tough. It's a pretty tough transition. So who knows what kind of equipment they have to work from home? I don't know, but I mean that's the thing. You got to be easy on these guys.
Okay, let me change my headset. Okay, right now.
Okay, sure, thanks.
Hello.
Yes.
Is it any better now?
Oh yeah, it's way better. I can hear you loud and clear now.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I do apologize for that.
Sure.
Thank you for calling. My name is Omar. May I have your computer service tag, or are you reporting a computer issue?
There's a lot of issues, but we're gonna have to go straight to a supervisor because I was hung up on by the last technician I talked to, and I really don't want to involve you, man. I promise, I don't. Now, let me give you a word of advice. Apparently, asking for a supervisor is the signal for let's never send this person to a supervisor. It's one of those things like, if you knew that guy that just never agreed to anything, or that girl that would never agree to anything, it's like the trick of getting them to come up with it like it was their idea so you can do it. This is how the tech support and customer service from my standpoint works at Dell. So if you ever mention I would like to see a supervisor, you have immediately just sealed your fate.
No worries, sir. Let me just gather the information to let my supervisor know what is it about.
You got it. Let's see. Service tag, or you want the express service code? Which one?
Oh, yeah, the service tag would work.
Okay. This guy at this point has already checked out. He is not asking anybody anything.
Be right back.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Thanks. All right.
He went to the bathroom. He went and hung out with somebody. I sat there on hold for like 5 minutes. And they will not check in on you like they're supposed to. When I did customer support, you had to check in with people frequently.
Okay, I see that this is an Alienware M15. I see that you were having issues with the battery, and then you was informed that the battery was out of warranty because the battery warranty is 1 year, and then it seems that
Also, the note taking of this company, I mean, it's a tech support, so we should have really good note taking at this point. The tech support note taking is atrocious. And I don't even feel like it's actually happening. Basically. Or they're doing other types of notes.
You was transferred to customer care, am I right?
No, he was supposed to transfer me to a supervisor and said that would take up to 24 hours, which I've been transferred to supervisors plenty of times before, and it doesn't take 24 hours. And on top of that, the issue with the battery is what has caused all the other problems, which go all the way back to the previous September 17th, which would have still been in warranty. So, and that.
Now, what I'm arguing here, and it's truly an argument, and I can understand his side of this too, but what I'm arguing is that all kinds of different diagnosis or reports or whatever have been run after this service tag has been started, and the overarching issue is that the CPU is throttling down, and so far the things they have done has not fixed it. Now we're at the point where we're down to like the final things that could fix it, and the overwhelming response is, well, that's something new. Well, it doesn't matter if that's new. The original problem exists. This is what could be causing the original problem.
That ticket should never have been, that work order should never been closed because the issue was never resolved.
Oh, and this was part of it too. I was not aware that my ticket had been closed. So, why was it closed? I never said it was closed. I never said that it was resolved.
So, this laptop has been essentially having poor performance issues because of the fact that the battery is bad. So, the motherboard's been changed, fans have been changed, stuff has been changed, but nothing has been fixed. And so that ticket should have never been closed.
Got it. All right, let me take note of that. Well, let me explain a little bit the situation with the supervisors and why it might take now, even though before it was different. But currently, because of the situation with the virus, we're working from home. So we don't have like supervisors in place or in site. And we need to hand out the information to them, and then they will schedule a call back.
I just talked to a supervisor yesterday. It took all of like 15 minutes.
Yeah, and how did you do it?
I told them to transfer me to a supervisor.
So this guy immediately is like, no way. How did you do it? Because these guys know that they're the gatekeepers. And maybe they have a union. Maybe they don't actually have supervisors. Because so far, the supervisors haven't really done a ton. I have talked to several supervisors. This is a fact. I've talked to several of them. I will say one was a big success in resolving the initial ticket to get somebody out to change out the fans, motherboard, heatsink. And then another guy was a complete and utter failure. Everybody else just kind of was a wash in between.
Supervisor.
Okay, and who was the supervisor that takes your call?
A Dell supervisor. That should be in y'all's records, not mine. Don't y'all take notes?
So I'm starting to get salty. I have been worn and beat down in this process. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, let me look into that.
Like, that's not my problem if you don't know which supervisors are calling me.
No, I'm not saying that I don't know. It's just that I didn't see it.
I've spoken to enough people already.
Yeah, I can see that there's been plenty of contacts here.
It's
okay,
ridiculous.
I see that you took. Okay, seems to be the case that you took Carlos. Carlos? What's his name, Carlos?
I don't know, man.
I see.
Unless you send an email, and I've got some emails from some of you, so I've got those.
This is also true. It has not been consistent how many emails I've gotten with case numbers. And make sure you request an email, a track record for your case number. because we'll see later on how debilitating this can be.
Nobody's out here memorizing your name. Plus, we don't even know if it's your real name. Nobody knows. It's not like you give an employee ID as well. So I mean, nobody knows. You could have been the same guy every single time with a different name.
Gotcha.
Nobody's gonna know.
Well, that's not the case. We don't do that kind of things here.
We wouldn't know.
I understand your point.
The explanation doesn't really matter either, because we wouldn't know. We would have no clue.
I see. Okay, let me go ahead and see if I can get someone. But let me see.
You can do it. I know you can do it. I don't want to say that your fellow employees can outdo you, man. Come on, we know you can do it.
No worries. No worries. It's just
When in doubt, goad the customer support person as if they're going to get some kind of reward if they outdo their counterparts.
that, haven't done it before, and I will need to ask on how that is done.
Sure. Call
No worries,
the
no
other
worries.
guy.
I will figure that out. No worries. Let me a couple of minutes, and I will.
I believe in you.
Let you know what we're gonna do.
You got it.
Thanks a lot. All right, sir. Thanks for holding. Please bear with me a couple of minutes. I'm trying to get someone on the line.
You're good.
How can I transfer you to them?
Yeah, you're good. Keep working on it. You're fine.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
No problem.
All right. Thanks for holding, sir. Quick question. I'm talking with my supervisor on the chat. She cannot take the call now, but she's telling me that she was reviewing the notes and saw the note for the supervisor that talked to you last time. And it seems that you get to the point that it seems that you installed a third-party SSD drive on the computer, and he referred.
Okay, yes. So this was a big issue as well. So Dell, oh man, this is a big one. So Dell, I probably should write this down to make sure I bring this up, will not troubleshoot your system if you have changed anything. So one of the first things that I did was to get more RAM, and I got a solid state drive PCMIe card, and I put that in the system. It's a Samsung PCIe card, and these guys would not troubleshoot my system until I completely reformatted back to original specs, because that's how people use their equipment, right? Everybody uses their equipment by completely, never putting anything on there and never changing any of the components, right? Right. Now, as far as and essentially what they did was they blamed the thermal throttling on the SSD drive. This is what tech support did previously. This is the supervisor that he's talking about. The supervisor said that you put an SSD in your laptop and blah, 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 blah. And so I had to completely reformat my laptop. Thankfully, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to take a image and everything else, because I've since put it back to the way it was, which runs optimally compared to the crappy hard drive that they put in there. Hard drive. So, and this is part of it too, is that they even sell the same SSD on the website. And the guy's like, well, this SSD causes heating. I was like, to peak out the CPU and GPU at 100 degrees? And when he ran the test and saw the temperature of the SSD, there's no way the SSD bumps the GPU, CPU's temperatures. Well, we found out once we reformatted, same temperatures. So the SSD had nothing to do with the temperatures of the laptop at all for the CPU and GPU. Just didn't have anything to do with it, because we tested it and ran it. And so everything since the HW info way back when, I had reformatted my laptop, and because that supervisor would not do anything to troubleshoot my laptop unless I did that. And that's just ridiculous. Unless it's something that voids your warranty. This is a computer. It's a laptop. We're going to put RAM in it. They didn't get upset about the extra RAM I put in there. That couldn't have caused any problem. They didn't even mention it once, even though that wasn't to spec. But as long as I reformatted my computer back to the way it was, and I almost feel like that was a tactic to make somebody give up. Because what is that going to prove to you? We're talking about the CPU and GPU. we're not talking about the storage. But regardless, that's what happened with that. So I had to completely reformat my computer for tech support to even do any kind of work on my laptop, run reports or anything. So that one kind of burns a little bit.
To the out-of-plan department, is that correct?
Nope. He said he was going to transfer me to a supervisor, and he hung up on me.
Okay, let me know that. Let me take note of that. Let me tell her that right away. Okay.
I had to completely reformat and get everything back to the way it was, or I completely at this time I have already reformatted and I have not put things back the way they are now. So it's still reformatted. I'm using the hard drive it came with. I'm using everything except for the RAM, which they didn't pay attention to. Who knows why? I don't know. I would imagine, they would look, but probably not. They're only going to look at what's going to make a difference in the way they have to handle the case. Path of least resistance.
All right, sir. Just to clarify this, because and thank you for holding. You did not talk to a supervisor before?
I've talked to a supervisor before, but when this person said they were going to transfer me to a supervisor, they hung up on me.
Okay, but then what was the outcome of the conversation with the supervisor?
Which one?
The last one you talked to.
He was going to have a technician call me back, and they never called me back. So I had to call today.
Got it. And the technician will call you to perform troubleshooting?
Yes, but...
By the way, they don't call back. In fact, they take your number in case you get disconnected. I can tell you, I have been disconnected so many times, no callbacks. They're not calling you back. And when they set somebody up to call you, they're not going to call then either. In fact, I almost feel like we're in the Matrix and none of this is actually real. I don't even think they have any of this on file. I'm glad I'm documenting it.
They didn't. Because the supervisor said they couldn't do it or do really anything.
Yeah. What I'm seeing here is that it seems that they to continue with the troubleshooting. You will need to set the computer with the original drive and not the third-party one, so we can.
I've already done that.
Oh, you have it already changed?
It's already.
So he's saying I need to change back to factory components, which I've already done. I already reformatted and changed back factory components.
It's been changed. It's been changed for days. All you got to do is pull all the reports. I've got 2 reports that got uploaded today, including a battery report. Which why you guys didn't check the battery the first time I called in is beyond me. But
I see. Okay, are you willing to perform troubleshooting today?
We've already done it.
Can we do it?
We've already done it. He put the battery report in there.
Okay, but then what was the outcome of that call?
The outcome was he was going to transfer me to a supervisor.
I see. Got it. Thanks a lot for clarifying that. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, thanks a lot for hanging.
Needless to say, he did not get right back. He neither got right back, he neither got right back. He neither got back nor called me back after we were disconnected. I don't recall if he hung up on me specifically. I'm not gonna say if they hung up on me if I don't actually recall it. Dell can do that. By the way, I have all these recordings unedited with case numbers and all this information. If Dell would ever like to have these, I would be happy to send them 100%. So in the next installment, we hit a massive bombshell. This bombshell is so big. We get to a supervisor. Not only do we get to a supervisor, we get information from this supervisor that shakes the heavens and the earth. But you'll have to wait and see on the next episode of the Dell Chronicles. I have been your host, Martin. You have been the audience. We'll see you later.